Jesus. Hi. Welcome to our farewell show. Unless, of course, we can actually find someone else who wants to host this thing. Because I may not have much time left. Welcome to the Gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz. Alright, show. Okay. It's been it's Thanksgiving week here. And you know, what can I say? Everybody's excited to go home. Unfortunately, a crippling flu bug has hit the ship. And everybody's in disarray. We're not anywhere. We didn't leave town. First of all, we gotta drive to God knows where tomorrow for Thanksgiving dinner anyway. So why in God's name would we go somewhere the day before? So we're still where we're generally docked, where the ship gets supplied, spends its time when it's not out gallivanting around the Silicon Seas. Indianapolis. Now what I did do was I commanded us to move the ship at least to the local Walgreens in the inner city. I don't know if you've been to a Walgreens in the inner city, or you know, a CVS, one of these places that generally serves meds and maybe your every so often you know, toiletries, you know, last minute groceries. But in the inner city, you know, not everybody can afford to go to a fancy schmancy doctor. So, including pirates. You know, this isn't exactly the kind of gig that comes with health insurance. So I told everybody, well, we gotta get the boat over to CVS. And we got to do the one thing that pirates sure don't like to get had done to them. There's two things pirates don't like done. They don't like to be shot, and they don't like to be poked. And if you've ever had a flu shot, it's kind of a nightmare. You're in this white room, you know, it's clean. They prefer you wear shoes. They're wiping down your arm with alcohol. I don't even think they're supposed to do that. I think they just do that to creep you out more. And then the next thing you know, needle. It's terrifying. So everybody's taking care of that. They're all lined up. I basically slept on the way here. And I think in the time that I slept, I think I got a fever. I think I'm even worse now. But, despite that, anybody catch when we started? Jesus. I think it's been 6 minutes. Despite that, our luck out there has been pretty darn good. Not only do we have a pretty hot booty segment to show you, I even got one hell of an eye razor to show you right here and now. I'm not even going to make you guys wait to the bottom of the hour for this baby. Alright? If you don't mind though, I'm going to mat up here a little bit. Drink juice. Drink juice. Have some soup. Just give me coffee. Keep it coming. Mainline it. That's all you really need. No shots and coffee. Got some pills here. Want to see what pirates take? We don't take pills. Doctor gave these to me. My eyebrow raised up pretty high. We don't take pills. We take pearls. She's like, take 2 pearls three times a day. I'm like, don't mind if I do. Well, mind if I do, doctor. Where were we? Right, I had something to show you, right? Okay, I won't make this a long story, because there really isn't much to it. Did we get this for a killer price? No. Did we happen in just the right store? A store that likely wouldn't have this kind of thing? No. But let me tell you, there are certain things out there for the Nintendo Entertainment System that sit upon, you know, like pillars of legendary status. They're almost like mythical beasts. Almost like there's certain things out there for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's like Loch Ness Monster. You know, everybody's heard of it. Nobody's ever seen one. Nobody's ever held one. For God's sakes, nobody's ever played with one. It's like the Power Glove. Everybody's heard of the Power Glove, right? It's that glove you put in your hand. All of a sudden you play Nintendo games, moving your hand around. Well, that's neat, but honestly, it's more of a cursed item than a relic, because it really doesn't work very well. The U-Force, you ever hear of the U-Force? Basically, it looks like a laptop. You flip it open, put it on a table in front of you. You're punching at it, like it's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It reads your movements. It doesn't work very well. What else we got? We got the rock and roller. You guys ever see the rock and roller? It basically looks like Saturn. Like a pogo ball, if anyone remembers those. Basically looks like Saturn. You put it on the floor, and it teeters this way and that because it's basically a ball with rings like Saturn. You put your feet on Saturn. You take a second controller to work the A and B buttons, and now you're standing on this thing, rocking and rolling to control Mario or Link. That's your D-pad. You know, these are all things we saw in magazines. It's all things we heard about. And unless we had a really rich kid in the neighborhood, we never saw them. We never owned them. I've seen a Power Glove now and then, but a U-Force? I've never seen a U-Force. Well, what we have in here today falls certainly under that line of Nintendo things we've always heard of. However, unlike the Power Glove, unlike the U-Force, there is not a stigma that comes with this. This, unlike those accursed items, this thing is something that's going to help you. This is something that you want in your court. This is, excuse the pun, an advantage. But don't worry, I wouldn't just give you an advantage. No. I saw this thing for $25. I asked them $20. They said I can't negotiate. And I said, that's absolutely no problem. We'll take it. I luckily had about $13 in credits. That cut the price in half for me. Out the door, we got this for $13. But even at $25, this was coming to the ship. Take a look at this. It's a boxed Nintendo Entertainment System game. A complete in-box game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Well, we've seen those on the show before. What's the big deal? Oh, you ain't seen nothing like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the fabled, rarely if ever seen, complete in-box copy of Acronoid by Taito. Acronoid by Taito. Now, the guy who sold this baby to us, he's new to the business, new to the store, trying to make a little extra money using that credit, his employee credit. He says, my uncle had this ever since he was a kid. It's been sitting on top of my VCR. I don't use it, mainly because, and this is what the kid said, I'm an Atari guy, and if I'm going to play Breakout, I'll just play Breakout on the Atari. And if you don't know what Acronoid is, this is basically it. You play a little paddle, it goes back and forth, and it goes up and down the screen, hits blocks until every block is eliminated. The only difference between Breakout and Acronoid, which this kid didn't know, was there's actual power-ups. So every block may have a little power-up in there, like maybe a capsule that'll extend your paddle, or maybe it'll split the ball from one ball into 3 balls. Maybe it'll give you a sticky ball, or every time it hits the paddle, it stops. You can reset a little bit, try and aim it where it's supposed to go. It can even, there's even a power up out there that mounts, gives your paddle onboard laser beams, where you can just blow through this like your big Viper and Radius or something. Well, it's in the box, and it's $25. We paid a lot less for these games before, haven't we? You'll notice there's 4 people here. Win a vacation of your dreams. Win a vacation of your dreams for family of 4 in the U.S. valued at $5,000 in cash. 99 other exciting prizes. I'm not sure why this needed to be here, but apparently they felt the need to add a little bit to this. They felt like maybe people weren't going to buy this game because there were so many other games out there that were maybe cheaper. I don't know what this retailed for, but I'm sure it retailed for more than your average Nintendo game for obvious reasons. This was one of the very few Nintendo games that came with its very own controller. The much fabled Vase controller. So in addition to the game, which is a nice 5-screw copy, and a nice clean manual, we have, honest to God, the controller that even if you didn't know, once you learned about it, you wanted it. The Vase controller. Look at that baby. Acronoid will never be the same again. Because if you know anything about Acronoid, you know it wasn't supposed to be played with a regular D-pad. It's supposed to be played with a dial. It's added precision. Those of you who may not never used the paddle, maybe you don't get it. Trust me, it's a game changer, and this thing is perfect. It's not dragging. It's like it wants me to guide it. Please, Captain Reds, please tell me where to go. You got your button here, in case you do get those mounted lasers. No A button, no B button, not even a start button. But it plugs into the Nintendo, nonetheless, and works like a dream. So there you have it. A true diamond. A true relic. One you may never see again. Right here on this crazy pirate ship. You guys want to play a video game? Couldn't think of a better game to play on this well, couldn't think of a better video game to play today during flu season than a little game we found for $7 way back in the day. For the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the 16-bit era, early 90s, knee deep in the gross out period of toys and games. I drop you into the disgusting, unnecessary, and really not that entertaining world of Booger Man. A pick and flick adventure. Let's get started. Alright. Hick boy. Hick boy. Why does it say Hick boy? Well, I thought we'd start on, you know, there's really not much to see in Booger Man. And I thought it would be, I thought we needed to see at least one boss. So basically, I played up until the first boss of the game. Here he is. Oh, listen to that music. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. Give me a holler if that's too loud. I'll turn it down for you, but I think it's okay. Where did my controller go? Here she is. All the way from down south. The first level boss of Booger Man is Hick Boy. Let's see these two beat it or work it out. If we can beat Hick Boy, we'll get right on over to the chest, and we'll see more interesting things from out there that we found in our travels on the Silicon Seas. Let's get going. Hick Boy. Alright, I'm on the left. It's basically Street Fighter, right? Oh. Now look. I'm gonna die a lot. Booger Man, he's a big fat guy. He's a big target. And oh god, excuse me. Whoa! And oh my god. And Hick Boy's got these big, large, sweeping attacks. You know, for a guy who just fights with a chicken. Hick Boy here. He's a well-rounded combatant. There we go. Okay. That being said, he is a terribly predictable pattern that if I can manage to exploit, shouldn't take us too long. See that? The boomerang got me. Chicken boomerang and egg. See that? This is gonna happen. Game over, but that's okay. We're gonna get right back to our man here. We got a password. Lets us right back into Hick Boy. Alright, so here we go. This time we'll get him. Maybe if we open up with something a little more powerful to start here. We've been flicking boogers at him. Let's open with a burp. Oh, see? That's why you don't go for the burp. Oh, jeez. Woo! You'll see, you'll notice we've got a couple of health bars here. We've got our snot gauge on the left. Oh my god. And then our gas gauge on the right. I'm trying to charge it up to get it going, because I feel like that's probably the way to beat him is if I can start seriously nailing him with the burp. So let's try this. All right. So nope, I already missed. Okay, here we go. So, you know, Booger Man. Oh. If you notice that everybody terrible's getting a repeat these days, I walked into a pawn shop the other day, and I swear to God, I wasn't hallucinating. I had to take it off the shelf for me. Somebody out there thought it would be a good idea to bring back Shaq Fu to the PlayStation 4. So we're in an era where all bets are off. So even this jackass may find his way out of the annals of Interplay's backlog. Oh my god. Get himself another game. How we doing on time? We started at 6:04. So 25. I swear, I mean, we should be able to beat this guy, right? Can't be that hard. Starts with the boomerang, then he throws the eggs. The eggs are really the problem. And then he charges with the chicken charge. If I could just stop the eggs. Did I duck that? I'm not sure if that's reliable, though. Oh, of course, chicken. Unbelievable. But, you know, for what this is, I mean, when they wrote it, when they were planning this, I have to say they didn't cash in. This is actually a pretty competent and actually, you know, quality, dare I say, platformer. You take all the, you know, the poop and fart jokes. Dude, I don't know if I have a fever, or it's hot in here, or I have menopause. It's one of the three. But they took this game seriously. This was made by a company that really didn't screw around back in the 16-bit era. This was made by Interplay. I think the last thing I heard Interplay really get involved with was a big fight with Bethesda for the rights to Fallout 3. Or Fallout after Fallout 3. Fallout 3 blows up. All of a sudden, everybody's who's got a piece of the pie on Fallout's coming out of the woodwork to cash in. Interplay being the big offender, because they made the first two. Offender's probably the worst, the wrong way to put it. But, you know, if you want an idea of the kind of pedigree of game that Interplay was putting out in the 90s and the you know, going into the 32-bit era, you know, Fallout's a fine example. That didn't make it to consoles. That was their PC baby. This was the kind of stuff they were putting out on consoles. And it's the Interplay games, they left a lasting impression. You know, I played the hell out of a lot of their Super Nintendo games. Most notably, Rock and Roll Racing. Oh, jeez. If you haven't played Rock and Roll Racing, probably my favorite racing game on the SNES. You got, what else comes to mind? The Lost Vikings, a game that just oozes personality, style, innovative gameplay, and strategy. And then, of course, oh, jeez. The Clay Fighter. the Clay Fighter series. So, you know, were these... I mean, Clay Fighter wasn't, you know, big technological achievement. But boy, was it fun. Alright, I'm going to give this a couple more shots here. So, Interplay, but, you know, definitely a company that taught you to not judge a book by its cover. When they made Booger Man, they thought, alright, well, if we're going to go this sophomoric, you know, we have to at least make it a game that can hold its own. And they sure did that here. Alright, we're going to up the ante. We're going to throw some burps in here. If we can. Right in with the eggs. I mean, I don't know how much that burp takes. You got to charge it, so you would think. All right, one more go. One more 3 lives. Give me 3 more lives. And try up against Hickman. And don't worry, if I can't beat him, and we go to the booty segment, I've got something up my sleeve. For after this, so don't worry about it. All right? You're okay. I got it all planned out. Burp. Oh, for God's sakes. Alright, last life. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Oh, wait, I think I may have more than one life here. Oh. Ah, the eggs! He's a well-rounded opponent. Alright, one more time. See if we get some more burps in here. We may not win, but at least we're burping the guy, right? Okay. I already screwed up. It's so confusing. Alright, that's it. I'm an idiot. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But don't you worry. I got an ace up my sleeve. We'll deal with that soon enough. More coffee here. That's my girl. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. Alright. Chest. We got 2 great deals here. We got 2. One was just a good day on the road. No better way to find. Nothing more exciting than finding games when you're on the road. Because you didn't really go out there to look in the first place. It was just kind of a stop. You know, like you planned to stop. But it's not like you got in your car one day and said, let's go look for video games, and then found something. It was more like, we already have a destination. Let's do a side quest, and booyah, we nail it. You know? That's what happened here. So let's get started. I get these phones. Let me turn this phone off. I'm sorry. You know, man, Shevitz. There we go. Alright, so here we are. We found ourselves in Lafayette, Indiana, tooling around on our way to Illinois to see the family. And there are Lafayette is interesting. It's you really got to learn the town to know where to go, because there's a lot of places to go in Lafayette. Indiana for whatever reason. We're talking pawn shops, we're talking retro video game places, we're talking thrift stores. And you know, we got to make our way to Illinois for dinner eventually. So you usually got to allow yourself maybe 2 hours in Lafayette to look around. And trust me, there's more than 2 hours to go around out there. So you want to be picky and choosy. Now, I've been through this place a number of times. I know that there's some places you always hit, some places you never hit, some places that are real X factors. And for whatever reason, I found places I'd never even known existed there on this day. The first place we were going to was a place that generally doesn't have anything. Oh wait, no. The first place we went to was the Salvation Army. And while this may not excite many of you, it does somewhat excite me. At the Salvation Army for $4, we found this thing. This is Sony on it. It's got a USB in, micro USB out, and a whole plethora of ins. Now, unfortunately, I don't think any of these are PlayStation 2 memory cards. That'd be super sweet. But one of these does say, is for Magic Sticks, which was PSP. So you can use this to transfer PSP data, I guess, to the internet. This also has an SD drive, and that's really what excites me, because we've been running with a Retron 5 that's been in vanilla mode ever since this damn boat got into the water. And a big reason for that was we never had one of these. Now, if you know, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if I plug this guy into the navigator and go to the Retron 5 site, put an SD card in here, record the latest version of Retron 5, any fixes to our Retron 5 will be then alleviated. Our biggest one being, we bought this a while back. You guys did. It's a converter for Sega Master System games, which we've used, and Sega Game Gear games, which is sticking out of the side here. Well, for whatever reason, this thing has never read Game Gear games, and I know for a fact, it says in the box, you have to update your Retron 5 in order to get this guy at maximum potential. So we were really lucky to happen across this little guy for $4. I don't know if that's a good price on this, to be honest, but it's something we needed, and I was very excited to find. All right, next store was definitely an eBay store. This is definitely a store that's going to price you high on everything. They get a whole bunch of inventory into this place for whatever reason, and then they mark it high. I don't know if they're hitting flea markets in the area or they've just got a reputation. I don't know, but they've just got buttloads of video games, and most of them all stay because of the price. However, for whatever reason, the past few visits I've been able to find some stuff that's fallen through the cracks, including this little baby here. This was under a table in a cardboard box with a whole bunch of ridiculously common Nintendo games. I'm talking Othello, Silent Service, Hoops, you know the drill. This is the kind of place that will put their heavy hitter, or at least popular titles, in a cabinet and price it the right price. So I don't know how this happened. Maybe his wife was working that day. I don't know. Maybe his kid, who knows. But for $5, sitting amongst a whole bunch of crazy commons, we find our beloved Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I've noticed that Nintendo games are dropping in price. This used to be a $30 game a year or two ago. Now it's more in the kind of $15, $20 range. You can see it's a little dirty there on the handle, but I gave it a real quick swab, plugged it into the old NES. She played like a dream. Sounds fine, graphics fine. No problems. $5? I'll do that all day. Do that all day, Mike Tyson. On the way to that place, I was intending to stop there. Thought maybe we'd get lucky. We did. On the way, I happened to see another thrift store, another pawn shop. A pawn shop I'd never seen before, never been into. I walk into this place. It's a guy in his 20s, lady in her 40s. There are no clientele whatsoever. It's this kind of place that literally has a wall of DVDs that aren't going anywhere. And then just racks of electronics. You've got katanas, you've got guns, collectibles, you name it, it's here. And it's all at, relatively retail prices, including the video games. I think they were asking $4 on PlayStation 3 games, which was pretty high. And but I did see some carts in there. And I saw a little stack of N64 games. I asked the guy, can I get in there? Take a look. He said, yeah, no problem. Most of all the carts were like Sega Genesis, PSP. I think he was asking like $250 for PSP games, loose. So this wasn't this wasn't walk in the park kind of place. But for whatever reason, there was one stack of N64 games sitting in that shelf that I didn't see any prices on. Well, I had him open it up, and right on top, I saw Mario Golf labeled here. And then I started digging deeper, and I started seeing some other good stuff. I brought all these up to the lady in her 40s. Made sure the other guy was across the room. When I asked how much are these N64 games, he says, I don't know, like $2 a cartridge. I grabbed every unmarked N64 game he had, and a Game Boy game. We'll get to there in a second. NFL Blitz. Diddy Kong Racing. Again, every one of them is written. And to be honest, I'm just fine with that because I'd like to actually know what I'm playing before I take it off the shelf. Paperboy, game I've never played in the N64. Not sure how that is. Who made that? Midway? WrestleMania 2000. The one to have as far as I'm concerned. And finally, all the way on the bottom, as if it was, didn't want to be revealed until the end. Mario Kart 64. As for the Game Boy game, it was sitting on its own, again unmarked, along with some others I wasn't interested in. No, I think this was the only Game Boy game there. I said, what are you doing in the Game Boy game? He actually walks over to see the title and says $3. So if he's doing $3 on this, we're real lucky he didn't see the Game Boy, the N64 games before they got run up. In fact, I think I may have shifted the pile after he said $3 on this. $3 we got. I don't know if this guy's gonna go. Arcade Games 2, Centipede and Millipede, in the palm of your hand. So there you go. We got all that stuff for that was 6 games, 7 games, $2 each. We got those N64 games and the Game Boy game for $15. Not bad. Finally, we went to an actual video game store. They didn't have much, but they always have an Atari box in the back. I always asked if we could see it. They did have some Atari games that while we have them, I felt were worth grabbing extras for $1. We had Congo Bongo by Sega. Blue Copy Robot Tank. Another remarkable thing about this is the fact that it is Blue Label. Donkey Kong Jr. Pretty banged up. 7800 copy of Galaga Great game. Not bad for $1. Very common, but still very good for $1. And finally, a pretty hard to find game, or at least for whatever reason, a more valuable game. I think this game may have run us around $20. Is Super Skateboarding for the 7800. And this is the kind of place that buy 5 get 1 free. If I were smart, I would have bought a 6th Atari game. I just didn't see anything, and I just, for whatever reason, I botched the whole deal by buying a $4 Game Boy game that just turned my head. It's Ring Rage, what appears to be a 2D fighter. The big sell factor here is the fact that it's Natsume, one of my favorite developers. So what was that? That would have been $5, but I had to throw this crap on the Barbie, so that came out to more like $8 for those. Okay? Alright, now here's another deal that happened. I know we're behind. What do we got? We got 20 minutes. We're going to go through this fast. Pawn shop, 9 a.m. Tuesday. Is it a Tuesday? It's a Monday. 9 a.m.-ish, 9 o'clock hour. The Sharks are out. They're out. I see them now. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. These guys got their routine. You think they came up with it. Not that I came up with it. But you're starting to see guys asking, you got any video games coming out? Well, they weren't there that day. Sitting on the shelf. Must have been put on there over the weekend or something. We had some pretty sweet, man, I have a love affair with the PS1 these days. So it's always exciting to find good PS1 titles for cheap. We found a copy of, right off the bat, Final Fantasy VII. It's in nice shape, including the disc. However, there is no manual. It's kind of a shame. It's not the misprint Final Fantasy VII. There's like a whole. You'd be surprised how many versions of this game there are out there. Medal of Honor Underground, which is a game we love here on the show. We did a show on this. We were out of Paris, France, I think, playing this one. Great game. Great first-person shooter. Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon. Back to Nature by Natsume. Our buddies over at Natsume. Real shame there's no manual here. Maybe I'll finagle my way into one here, one of the game stores here in town. We'll see. But the case is in nice shape. Harvest Moon, you know what Harvest Moon is? Basically a farming role-play game. Yeah. Get that for your Call of Duty fan. And then finally, my baby, a Black Label, a Final Fantasy IX. 4 discs of true, just heartwarming adventure. Again, no manual. Kind of a shame. But you know what? I may have a spare Final Fantasy manual. I might. It just, the case itself looks darling. And if you're going to play a Final Fantasy game, gotta say, this is the one for me. Of all of them out there. Doesn't that sound crazy? Final Fantasy 15 looks pretty fetching. But if you're talking classics, 9 all day, baby. Go to the counter, I say, how much are those? He says he's ringing them up. I see what looks to be a Game Boy game in a basket behind him. I say, can I look at that basket? He shows me the basket, and somebody had taste. Whoa, did somebody have taste? Hachi Machi. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The Diablo of Game Boy Advance games does not get better. This is a really good game. Play the hell out of this. I've played this where I plugged 2 of these games into 2 different Game Boys and played with my sister. It's that good of an action RPG. The 2 Game Boy games we found. I did a double take. Roland's Curse. Wow. A really hard to find, lesser known Legend of Zelda variants. Never made it out. Never made it out of the Game Boy. Action RPG. Not to be outdone. Contra: The Alien Wars, which is basically a port of Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo. Obviously a downgraded port, but port nonetheless. Banjo-Kazooie: Grunty's Revenge. We see this guy now and then. Banjo-Kazooie: Grunty's Revenge. Golden Sun, the system's premiere original role-playing series of games. I think there were 2 of them on the Game Boy Advance. This kid's being stupid. It's Game Boy Advance Game Spray, right? There we go. A game you'd think I wouldn't care about, but I'm really excited to get this. We didn't have it. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Why is this important? Well, this is a game that you plug into the Game Boy. You plug the Game Boy to GameCube connector cable into the GameCube. You get the GameCube version of Quidditch World Cup. Plug it into your GameCube. You and a friend play a game of Quidditch while your friend is on the big screen, dealing with the big world, the whole, the mess of, if you know Quidditch, it's you're feeling the game, but while he's playing on the big screen, the main Quidditch game, you are tasked with, on the little Game Boy, at the same time he's playing, you're tasked with tracking down the snitch. If you don't know Quidditch, I'm sorry, the snitch is basically, it's the game changer. It's like getting a Grand Slam. There's no coming back. That's the only way to do this. How fascinating. What? Talk about innovative content. This isn't just a simple give you a couple extra characters. This is a whole new way to play. You and your friend are playing Quidditch in 2 completely separate ways. I'm really wanting to give this a go. And I have a feeling my sister's down for that. We're going to try that one day. Final 2 here. Spyro Fire and Ice. Season of Ice. And finally, wow, Zelda, the Minish Cap, arguably the hardest of all the Zelda games, with the exception of maybe the Philips CDI ports. Arguably the hardest Zelda game to get your hands on, because it was only made for the Game Boy. Game Boy Advance. A lot of these Zelda games have been ported to system to system to system. Minish Cap has stayed and never gone anywhere. And it's not a bad game to boot. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 really nice handheld games. 4 really nice PlayStation 1 games. What's that come out to? 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. He did 50 cents a game. We walked out of there paying for everything with like $6.50. Boom. What a deal. What a deal. I'm really excited about trying out Roland's Curse. I love role-playing games on the Game Boy. Very hard to find. We got 10 minutes left in this show. Not much left. I'm sorry. There's just been a lot of good stuff to see. But I will show you. I do have what am I trying to say? A secret? A card up my sleeve to show us a little more something interesting than just dealing with that stupid idiot with overalls and a chicken suit. I think we have the demo running at the moment. Not sure how that happened. I thought we were stuck on Hick Boy, but that's okay. Let's get back in here. Pick and Flick Adventure again. dark and stormy night, Professor Stinkbomb's laboratory, where a machine has been built to save the world from pollution by trans-existing it to dimension excrement. That's all I'm giving you. What we're going to do here is we actually have a code. You can put this in at any time during the game. God bless them. Up, down, left, right, LLL. And just to give you an idea of the kind of places you see in Boogerland, Boogerman, we got the flatulent swamps. Look, I'm looking for something that's appropriate to the flu season. We'll check it out for a few minutes. The pits, Revolta. That's got to be another boss. Boogerville. We might have to go to Boogerville. I haven't looked at these. Mucus Mountains. Here we go. Let's do Mucus Mountains. That sounds. Trust me. That's where I'm at. That's definitely where I'm at. All right. Mucus Mountains. Hey! Now, to be honest, there's really nothing remarkable about the level design to this game at all. They all seem to play the same. I played all the way through the Flatulent Swamps. It was the same graphics, the same gameplay over and over. You're stepping on. You see these? You're collecting plungers to get to a bonus round at the end of the stage. You're popping pimples as you go that for whatever reason just seem to be sitting on the road. It's the same gameplay, level after level after level. Nothing remarkable here whatsoever, aside from the fact that, if you're a fan of platformers, it plays like a dream. There's no doubt about that. And you can. Oh, what? I totally burped on that guy. You're digging through trash. Now I've got the milk power up. Oops. Apparently, when you have the milk power up, instead of flinging boogers, you can now shoot out some really nice, thick, milky hawkers. We're learning a lot about what the milk does to the human body. It's educational, basically. Alright, getting there. Pop a couple more pimples here. Let me see if I can get some of the better moves off here. Definitely would be. I just picked up a bean power up. I'm not sure what the beans do for you. Probably ammo. Maybe flagellance ammo. Oh, come on! Jeez, what a pain. Got another pimple here. See some trash we missed. We gotta get out of here. We only got 5 minutes. Can I get some monsters? Hello? Alright, come here. Okay, maybe I can finish up this guy. Hey! Okay, here. Can I see him? Nope. Oh, I'm dead. Alright, one more last thing. We can't not do this, so here it comes. We'll leave it here just to give you an idea what a class act Boogerman is. Okay, there's a monster. You dick! Alright, he's right there. I know he's coming. Here we go. Here it comes. And I shot the wrong way. Hold on. Oh. Alright. And I missed. Let's try again. Oh. Can I go one more? Can I go one more? Come on, one more. Come on, one more, baby. Come on, here we go. I got him this time. You gotta time this just right. Oh, there we go! Oh, yeah. Yeah, pick a winner, pal. That's a boy. Oh, and by the way, controls, you got one button to jump, one button to pick, the boogers, one button to burp, and one button to just do this. All right, we'll leave it there. Yeah, booger. Booger. Yeah, booger. Yeah, I love you. I love you, booger man. Don't ever change, baby. You know what, booger man? I don't want you to come back. That's for sure. You nailed it. You nailed it at the right time. You were a man about your time. You were like the Big Lebowski. You know, he's the man for his time. That was totally Booger Man. He fits right in there. Let's hit the mailbag. What do we got? All right, what do we got? This comes from one of our crew folk, Miriam, and she asks, Captain Raz, what's your favorite console controller? And what's your favorite console controller of all time that you wish you could still use for modern games? I don't know. I'm relatively okay with the controllers we find ourselves with these days. PS4 one's okay. I think it's more a question of build. Seems like these things just fall apart way easier than they used to. But, you know, you're dealing with things like, a headphone jack and touch-based, interface buttons, and, there's a lot more working parts. It would be nice to have, like, a Saturn controller that was universal. Saturn had a real nice controller. The Genesis controller probably would be nice. They're basically about the same. I think the main reason they excite me is the fact that you got the 6-button control, 6 buttons right there. That's Street Fighter all day, baby. That's Street Fighter and all those other obscure fighting games. This is really where you want your buttons to be. So it'd be neat to see some sort of universal version of this. And it wouldn't shock me to see them. There are companies that are putting out really nice reproductions or rebuilds of old classic controllers. Is this guy in here? I don't know where she is. She's floating around somewhere, but we have this guy for the Navigator. Not that I usually play games on the Navigator. We just found this real cheap, couldn't pass it up. It's a Super Nintendo controller, Bluetooth, that has 2 analog sticks. There. You can't see it very well because of that sticker, but there you go. Check out those 2 hot analog sticks. Very nice build. I know it's around here somewhere. But like I said, I never use it, so. Maybe a Sega Genesis of that would be neat. But yeah, there's still a lot of options. It's very easy to find the controller that you liked for these new systems sometimes. But yeah, Sega Saturn could definitely use a re-release when it comes to controllers. Pair that up with Bluetooth. You get a nice little controller. Alright, we're going to leave it there. I want to thank each and every one of you. The nurse told me, I told her, I got to get out of there and do a show. She said, make sure to tell everyone to get their flu shots. Don't do it. Don't do it. It really hurts. But what am I to do? Teeth are Spanish maidens. What am I to do? Ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to survive this cockamamie flu season. And lo, nevermore shall we see ye all gone. Keep your powder dry, ladies.